everyone.
Hello, everyone.
Welcome to a
WD Carousel of Podcast. I'm talking over you.
It's okay. That's fine. We've kind of thought we were going to do something super grand for episode 100.
And guess what happened?
It's just coronavirus, man.
Coronavirus.
So yeah.
Plans have changed.
Yeah, I've been putting more effort into contingency plans to make sure we can continue to deliver you content during this period of time.
Because we want to be able to make sure that you have an escape, something that is happy, that you will be able to enjoy even while the world is doing different things around you.
Yes, and potential temporary lack of Disney, which is kind of a depression. So...
Oh, by the way, this is Pugsley, everybody.
We could not have timed that out better.
That was perfect.
That was.
He's my newest kitten. He's 10 months old, but this is the first time that we're recording around him. So, of course, he had to make a little
appearance. Yeah.
Yes.
He always makes an appearance. All the cats
Goodbye.
do.
Wonderful.
Have a good time.
So we decided that since our original plans are no longer, we were going to do a sort of recap of episode 1.
Yes.
And what we've learned since then.
What we've done differently, and yes.
So you can learn from our mistakes. We can laugh about our mistakes together and...
then cry. No, I'm kidding.
And go around. But before we do that, because this is our 100th episode and Ian's buying a home, I bought him a present. So
my goodness.
I'm not sure if you're actually watching this of the 3 people that use our YouTube, but the remaining of you, it's right there.
Where is it? Oh, is it the Haunted Mansion thing?
Yes. I bought him...
Oh my god.
for his brand new house, his first house ever, the Haunted Mansion door knocker.
Oh my god. This is gonna be on like the basement door. Like, you know, it's gonna be on the basement door going right downstairs.
Yes.
That is hilarious.
So, happy 100th episode / happy house.
Happy house. Thank you.
I figured it'd be kind of fitting to...
Yeah, we'll stick a picture up somewhere. We'll make it work.
Yeah. And if you've ridden the Haunted Mansion, it's the one that looks like a mace.
Yes. And it's
that knocks on its own.
It's doing a little knocking and doing its own thing.
So episode 1.
Yeah.
We did
a long time ago. I can give you the actual date of the very first episode.
It was We Want the Redhead. I remember that much.
And it was February 11th, 2018.
Okay, so little over 2 years ago.
Yes.
Not bad, considering we've had some, time off weekends with family and life and things happening.
Absolutely,
so,
absolutely.
Yeah, not bad at all. But we kind of did a little review, or at least you started playing it while we were setting up to record this, and wholly different.
Yeah, so... From a technical standpoint, we have recorded it entirely differently. At that point in time, we recorded it like a radio show where we actually faced each other and each had a microphone to us and we would just talk.
It was like a whole like spider web worth of tech in between us.
Yeah, and so I had kind of put a focus on like audio quality, which... I will say, some of those early episodes sound really good. In comparison, I've kind of let that slide. I'm done. I'm done making it sound... we're never going to be NPR, whatever. I'll be fine. But those early ones, it was definitely focused a little differently, and the energy was like a little bit softer.
Our pacing was
really slow.
So different.
Yeah.
It was like I was trying to make sure that everybody understood every single word, and I was enunciating every consonant.
Yes.
As you should when you are on a stage production. But, we're not in a stage production.
We are not a stage production. We are not a stage production.
But I will say the first... 15 episodes or so, we actually went through and were editing out pauses and all of the ums and so's and filler words. So
we did a lot of those.
The pacing probably helped with that.
Yeah, because after, I think, it didn't take more than, 15 episodes when we started to, because especially most of the time in those early ones, we would sit together during the edit, and every time it'd be like, oh my god, there are so many ums and so's and ands and things that were not. They were all filler words for the content.
Which is something you guys obviously were not privy to at the time. Ian gave me a little keyboard of my own, so when we were reviewing the episode, I would like pause it whenever there would be a filler. He had the power to do so as well, but they kind of went under the radar for him, so I was like, eh.
If it was some of them were real fast, and so we would both be sitting there stopping at different times for goofy little ums and ors and whatever.
How many cuts do you think we had in the first episode?
In the first episode, I wish now that I would have just pulled up that Pro Tools file, but I didn't. Oh my god,
it looks so scary. I'm sure
it was probably we probably had 40 cuts.
Yeah, 40 or 50.
And they were all snippets of maybe like a half a second. Mm-hmm. So they were just little things like that. We did do some little earlier on. We would be more casual about while we were recording because we knew we would cut it. Mm-hmm. So that's probably why our energy was a little different. We just like let it go and roll and just keep moving and whatever.
Well, we were trying to get used to having conversations with someone who is not actually physically in front of us / having the open communication between you and I.
Right, and having a conversation because we talked all the time about this stuff, but then trying to do it in a way that we knew would be interesting or we thought would be interesting for people. Was an interesting experience on itself.
That was interesting a lot.
Interesting a lot. We would have cut that in the first episode.
We should have used a different word.
Edit. But yeah, so it was different in the beginning, and definitely felt like it was more like we were kind of more free rambling. It was more free form during the recording. And then
is this episode kind of along the same format of we have no plan?
The fact we have no plan, we just have a topic. We have no.
That's more similar to our original episodes.
We would have a topic, and then we would just have to kind of riff on it. That was pretty standard up until about episode 20.
Something like that.
Because the timing where there was a big shift in general was when we switched to adding video.
Mm-hmm. And the only reason we switched to video, and I've brought this up a couple times, but it's because our listeners, we had a number of them that were hard of hearing. And so they had either asked for a written transcript, and because we aren't scripted, that would have been very difficult for us to be able to produce. So we decided to give a visual format instead. And on average, our videos, at least on YouTube, see about 5 views, but the main reason that it's there is not to become like YouTube sensations, but to be able to give that availability to the people who requested it.
Yeah, if you're in the Apple Podcast app, and I'm sure people that listen to this show on the app aren't going through and digging through our descriptions. They're not that long, not that interesting, but in every single one of them since about episode 25, you'll see there's a YouTube link. So people that wanted to see it could. We did play around a little bit, and we still do occasionally. We'll add a couple of visuals into something. But again, it's one of those things where it's usually just added content. It's just additional content. It's not anything that's exclusive.
And that's intentional because we are very hyper aware of copyright. Which,
there's that.
Speaking of that, we might as well just talk about it. I miss our old intro
me too.
And outro. I mean, Great Big Beautiful Tomorrow had become something so ingrained in you and I in regards to the show that when we got our first little notice, it shocked us and scared us to the point of us changing our music.
And the thing was, it's funny because we got a little warning, and it wasn't a copyright strike. It wasn't anything against the channel, but it was basically saying like, this video can't be monetized ever. And I'm like, well, wait, hold on. Like, why now? We've been doing this for so long.
Our 5 people.
Yeah.
But.
Right. So it was one of those things where I was like, we had a little powwow about it, and we're just like, maybe it's not worth the risk going forward dealing with Disney, who's so forgiving when it comes to copyrights. And so
to a point, they actually are, because they love free advertising.
They do.
But when it's their content that they don't have any sort of like say in the matter for how you use it, then they're a little bit more picky. And that's where we decided to make the conscious decision to make that shift. Yeah. Now, that being said, we still, even before this recording, sing that opening to each other to get our energy up, to help get us on the same pacing, and to start us off with a happy little like emotion.
Yeah.
So it's still an integral part of our show, even though you don't hear it when you start up an episode any longer.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's still in my head as our intro.
It is. It's been very weird when I've gone in to do an edit and been like, oh, that's right, it's different. It's not the same. And to be perfectly honest, we are not married to this music for the intro, so if there comes a time that it changes, just know that we are not like, this is our new brand and we're sticking to it. Like we could switch it at any time.
Anytime.
Yeah.
I mean, I will say I found a Disney Ragtime CD.
Oh man, that's been
that
great.
I introduced Ian to, and I'm like, can we just use the Great Big Beautiful Ragtime? I mean, it's not the one that Disney's gonna be like, up. I know that one. It's so good, and
it is really good. It's still, YouTube has that DNA detect, like music DNA detector thing, and
which is probably why we didn't. One of our other first episodes was top 10 villain songs.
Yes,
and that one we actually used clips on, and we went back and forth on if we should or if we shouldn't. But I kind of put my foot down on that one, as we're doing a top 10 about villain songs, and we need to be able to have clips of villain songs, especially with some of them we were pulling out were not popular ones, like not from the big movies. Like we pulled out Ratigan. I love Ratigan, but most people don't know the song.
And that one was an interesting episode. And in fact, if you started listening to us, about like less than 2 years ago, because that was like the first 4 or 5 episodes.
Yeah, it was very
early. And so I think that it was at this point in time, I wouldn't do it again, only because we're on YouTube, and that could be challenging. But that episode is not on YouTube. It is only a podcast episode.
Yes.
And so it's got a little bit of...
and I mean, it's on our website. I'm looking at our website right now.
And our website is actually, if you only access us through Apple Podcasts, the website can be kind of a nice way to find things, because it's just the whole front page is pretty much just episodes.
You can just keep scrolling and scrolling, which is essentially what I'm doing at this point. Although it stopped. There we go. I was like, it stopped at episode 70. But no, it needs to keep going.
Oh, man. It's stopping at 70? Oh, my goodness. We have so many episodes, you guys. It's crazy.
And we also have bonus episodes. There are 2 of them that are off the top of my head that I can remember.
Yeah.
One of them was our first movie review that we did. We weren't sure how we were going to do it, if we were going to make it a regular thing.
Right.
So we decided to do that as a bonus episode.
Yep.
And I don't even remember what the movie was. Do you remember?
It was Incredibles 2.
Oh, okay.
And that one, we didn't launch as an episode. We launched it separately out of stream with the titles. So
there it is.
Yep.
June 16th of 2018. So fairly early on, actually.
Yeah, that was pretty early. Yeah.
Yeah, it was like in between episode 15 and 16.
Yep.
So very early on.
Yeah. So it was pretty interesting. I think I'm going to ask you this though.
Okay.
What is your favorite episode or series of episodes?
Okay, Villain Songs was number 2.
Villain Songs was number 2. Yeah, so definitely not on YouTube.
Definitely not on YouTube. So the question was, what is
favorite episode or episodes if it's a series?
I'm thinking, and I don't know, because so here's the thing about our content. Unlike some other podcasts where they have really strict theming, we actually don't. We have Disney. That is our theme. So it's anything that catches our fancy. Anything. We've covered topics from, animators and in-betweeners, or, to rides, whether it be still existing or abandoned, to movies, to parts of movies, to racist Disney, wartime Disney, and history of Disney.
Right. It's a wide variety.
We've done so much stuff, but
it's been kind of fun because I know I have, but I think we've both learned things that we definitely didn't know.
Oh yeah,
it's
100%.
It's kind of been like our adventure of being like, this is a a culture, a world, a company, a lot of interesting stuff here, and this is a way for us to go in and just learn as much as we can about it. We're just kind of going on an adventure.
It gives an excuse to be able to dig deeper than we originally thought we were going to.
Absolutely.
I'll say the villain songs countdown because that one I think was just so enjoyable being able to do the research on it because I went through, and you remember when I made a list of every single Disney villain?
Yeah.
And then on that one I was using paper that is supposed to be reusable, and the ink on it, it's a specialty paper. There was a Patreon thing going on for it a while, and now it's on Amazon, but you can nuke it and then all the ink deletes off of it.
Oh yeah.
That's the one that I had accidentally left in my car in the sun,
and
it just deleted all of my deleted all of my villain stuff. But I looked at every single movie and looked at every single song, so these were things that we actually researched, not just went to other top 10 lists online or top this lists and top this lists, and it was us and our personal interpretation.
It was very much our content. Not that we don't have not our content for most stuff, but it was definitely a thing where
your personality and my personality were the ones that were
showing through, very much so. And that's also one of the reasons I really like, because my favorite series is Best Attractions.
That was a good one
WDW.
as well.
Those I think were.
And that was early,
Those were early, too. Those were in, like, the first, like,
7, 8... Episode 7, Best Attraction in Magic Kingdom.
And then we divided the rest of them up, the rest of the parks, and then we had a final battle.
And then we had... Yeah,
and those were... I just really thought that those were a lot of fun. Again, because it was one where it was nothing but a list of shows, and then us, or a list of attractions, and us just figuring it out, like, talking about it, and doing that. And I think that I'd like to do some more of that in the future. We can get back into that again, but it's been hard, obviously.
And then the top 10 lists were always a very fun thing to do. Very quick, very short. I know that we did like the top 10 pools at one point in time, and that's when we first learned about the clown pool. Oh my God.
That'll be a revisit too, because I think we missed a lot of pools in that one.
We did.
So there's a couple of these things too, is like there's no rules for this, so we might end up having to go back and do some of these things again in a different way.
We've learned a lot of stuff, like the different studios, like the Brave Little Toaster episode.
That was fascinating.
We talked about basically being a precursor to Pixar, and so we learned so much in regards to that. And and it doesn't even feel like it was that long ago.
No, it doesn't.
Not at all.
It was like 2 years ago. That's crazy.
I know, it's ridiculous, but at the same time, it makes me excited to do more.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to this. What's the episode that you would love to redo, whether it be because you have more information now or your opinions have changed?
Ooh. Let me think. I honestly have to think. Do you have one? Because I'll think about it if you have one.
I would say mine is some of the background stuff. Like, we've barely touched the 9 Old Men.
Right.
Have we even touched the 9 Old Men?
We've never done an episode of the 9 Old Men, like, as a whole.
But I don't even think we've done, like, an individual animator.
Sure. Yeah, maybe we haven't.
Because we've done the smaller people. We've done Rolly Crump. We've done Floyd Norman. And we haven't really... We've done the Sherman Brothers, but they're not the 9 Old Men. They're not the animators. They're the music side of Disney.
Right. I guess that's not something
that's not a redo.
But that is something that we should be doing.
That should be on a future list.
That'll be on a list. So check out our Patreon page and see what we're coming up with.
Yeah.
There are a couple of rides. Honestly, I think that pool one I definitely want to redo. That'd be one that I definitely want to see again, or take another crack at.
Yeah.
I think that there was another ride, like a defunct ride, that I wish I could have taken another crack at, and I can't remember which one it was. It might have been Horizons.
See, yeah, and Horizons, we did as much as we could, but because it's defunct, there's not
a lot of info.
A lot we can do.
I ended up getting more, because I was always fascinated by that attraction, and I ended up going back and doing more research after we shot the episode, and then was like, oh,
that happens.
I have more stuff I want to talk about.
That happens a lot.
So that was a thing. An episode that I have... Here's one. Okay. Is there an episode that you have never, ever listened to again that you've like just kind of avoided? Because I have one.
I mean, kind of flitting between the Dark Crystal and Magic Kingdom's game. But that's because both of those are like, okay, I love the Dark Crystal, don't get me wrong, but that one was hard.
Yeah.
And then the game is just, it's
the game
a waste.
Was frustrating.
Waste.
Yeah. Also, no one ever called us out on the fact that the Dark Crystal wasn't actually a Disney property.
I love that.
I know. I'm so glad that you guys just like didn't care or like no one's paying attention.
Jim Henson has a good working relationship.
Exactly.
It's the same thing that we did with Stan Lee's episode. Stan Lee was never officially part of Disney,
right.
But because they sold Marvel to Disney, we were able to give him the acknowledgement that he deserved when it was his time to do that.
Pass. Yeah. The one for me that I've never listened to again is the one on, was it the one on? I think it was the one on Pixar versus Disney Animation.
Oh, that one was a rough one.
Oh, thanks.
Well, just because unless you are a tech nerd like you are, you can easily like get lost.
Sure.
In some of your examples.
Okay.
So it's not that it's a bad episode. It's just, it's rough because trying to keep the understanding of the line of thought when you don't know the actual technical process can be a little challenging. But you do a good job explaining. It's just trying to remember those things at the same time.
It was, let's just say it was a niche episode.
Yes.
And I know that like I was fascinated by it, but I got the sense that probably nobody else was going to be interested. So if there's like a person out there who enjoys it, that's awesome. Thank you for being the other person that I made this for, because that was just me being fascinated.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, that was the same thing for me and a number of our episodes. I mean, I started off the gaming episodes just because I wanted to talk about Kingdom Hearts. And all of a sudden we started doing game reviews, occasionally, and now it's a regular thing.
Somewhat regular, yeah.
So it all started because I'm like, oh my God, Kingdom Hearts is amazing. And yes, this game came out so long ago.
I know.
And the new one hadn't even come out yet.
Right.
But I was like, we need to talk about it because I'm a nerd.
Yeah, no, there's definitely episodes where I know we've gone into it and been like, we don't actually know anything about this, but we're just interested. And that's certainly sometimes they have been some of my absolute favorites.
Oh, yeah.
And sometimes they've been ones where I'm like, I want to do that again. This is a tough one. But
so where do you see us in the next 100 episodes?
Next 100 episodes.
If we get that far.
We're
shocked that we actually even got to 100. So, hey, thanks for sticking around, guys.
Yeah, exactly.
This is amazing and wonderful, and we're shocked that people
have continued to have listenership.
You really like us.
You really like us.
To the point of where we've had sponsorships. We've had offers for more sponsorships. We've had, communications with
fans.
And
it's been fun.
It's been so eye-opening and such a wonderful community to be part of that we are very thankful and grateful. And I don't want to stop.
No.
So 100 episodes from now,
I would like this to be something that is that we can dedicate more time to. Honestly, that's the thing for me. Is it's like at this point in time, like obviously I'm the kind of person who likes to have lots of projects and work on stuff. But with this project, it would be nice to have a little bit more time to spend on it. Just because then I could put in more time on research. Because right now, anytime that I'm working on this project, I'm basically doing production or post-production on this stuff. And so usually if I'm able to do something, it's quickly at lunch, and then I just like type it up into Basecamp, and then that's what I got. But it'd be nice to be able to kind of dive into the topics even a little bit more and kind of do that. And I think that would be my big thing. And then just having more time to do production work in general would be nice.
I was going to say, I think in the next 100 episodes, I'd like to see us expanding more. We had played around a little bit with doing like dining reviews and that sort of thing.
And I like those.
And you have a background in video
my
production.
my actual like education is in video production, film production.
And I specialize in social media and, that advertising aspect and really focus on visuals. You are a photographer as well. So having that side of things I would love to see us move into a wider range of product, not just having the podcast, which we love doing, and then the video side of it just for the people who requested it and wanted it, and then the occasional you want to see us goof off or whatever we're doing from like a vacation review, but there's other content that you and I have talked about in the last couple months that I would love to see us, and 100 episodes from now, that's another 2 years. We should be able to come up with 1 or 2 things. I
think so, and I think a lot of it will be determined by where we are, and I do think
and the parks opening back
up. The parks opening back up again, and in what capacity. That'll be, I'm sure, a future episode about how that will look when it's we've been, in the last few months, we've been trying to, on Patreon, have a list of upcoming episodes. So that way, if you guys are interested or had plans to go visit the parks and vacations that you wanted to get information on, you kind of knew what was upcoming. So, pre-planning. But right now, those are all up in the air because we were supposed to have our next, show trip down in about a month, and that's looking a little sketchy at this point.
And we do take the COVID-19 virus very seriously, and we respect Disney for their decisions to protect everybody, whether it be cast members, whether it be guests, or whoever. Everybody.
It's a big thing, and they're doing. I think they're being industry leading in what they're currently doing. I mean, nothing is ever perfect, but
and if you want to hear more about that, we did have the bonus episode that we posted. Yes. But right now, our list of upcoming episodes is in flux because the episodes if you've noticed, we try and do a back and forth as far as parks and then something non-parks related because parks are such a big part of Disney. And with our trip that was upcoming, we had all of these lined out. And now we might not be able to give you that content.
Right. So our episodes, we have a magical spreadsheet, the master list of stuff we're working on, and then all of our project stuff, and that currently has been flipped around. I can't tell you how many times.
Life's been flipped, turned upside down.
Turned upside down. Yeah. Yeah. But this might be a good time to do a Patreon plug as long as we're here, right?
Yeah. So that's something that we had talked about, started, didn't really focus on. Talked about again, didn't really focus on.
We would do. I would say we do little chunks of work and then kind of leave it. And the fact of the matter is, with Patreon, there has always been the benefit if you want to be a Patreon member, or a patron of our channel or of our podcast, our stuff. You always can get the episode a little bit before everybody else. And that has always been the case since the beginning of the Patreon page. The goal now for us is, and you're going to see in the next couple of weeks, because we're going to be probably spending a lot of time on our butts at home.
We're going to be home.
Yeah. We're going to be working on retooling some of the other benefits that you can get.
Yes.
And I'm pretty excited about the stuff that we've got lined up, because there's some we actually talked to people who would be interested in what they would want to see. And so we're going to play with that, and we're going to try to create some stuff that I think might get people more engaged in the community, and then hopefully we can provide additional value to you, and also you'll be able to provide additional value to us, where we can continue to gives us more security in working on this project.
I mean, something as simple as behind the scenes video, or our notes in regards to an episode we've talked about having before. We've talked about possibly doing private video content, but that's still, we don't want to necessarily cut anybody off from future content, but I mean, we're trying to figure it out. We're also restructuring the perks that go along with it. We have things where we're even talking about giving out physical items,
merch, items,
which
and
is an exciting thing. I'm going to be in communication with some people in regards to that. So that'll be super fun. So you can get some WD merch as well. Which people have asked me for in the past, and I'm like, I don't have it.
I just do a podcast.
Yeah. Ian and I sit in front of a microphone and stare at a
camera lens all evening.
It's not even a camera lens. It is a a teleprompter.
It is. There's a lens back there
that
somewhere.
Doesn't even have anything on it
right now.
But it's there.
Yep.
To help us with our notes. That way we're not constantly looking down at our phones or my notebooks, because I have a vast amount of notebooks.
Yes, it's quite a collection. And even the goal, I think, as part of the Patreon thing, is we're trying to put a focus on, in our new relaunch Patreon, is putting more of a focus on the community.
Yeah.
And creating a more community-driven experience. And because, we don't want to lock people out of our content. But I think that, obviously a little bit of behind the scenes stuff is when that would be for patrons only, and having more engagement with us, I think, is going to be the thing that we'll try to push.
We're even talking about like doing a once a month sort of video group chat, get to know us. Do you have any questions?
Yep.
Thing, which I would be super excited to be able to just hang out with you guys.
Yeah, I mean,
that would be so much fun.
I think that I think that would be a really amazing experience, and it would basically, like, I'm just seeing the way this would work. It might be kind of like an interactive podcast episode.
I know.
It's kind of cool, like, conceptually.
And I mean, I've been approached before in regards to how we do our social media stuff, and I'd be more than happy to share things on that or production stuff. And so, we'd take a couple topics and we would chit chat around them for 45 minutes to an hour, and I think that would be a great time.
Yeah. And that would be just like, and you could do that every month if you were a patron at that level.
Just be a little bonus.
It'd be kind of cool. So, it's, and I also have a background in digital marketing. So like we can make this happen. So, just wait. But it's coming.
Yeah. So thank you so much, guys, for sticking around with us for the last 100 episodes.
Holy moly.
Again, so extremely thankful from the bottom of our hearts that we've gotten to this point, that you guys are still with us, still loving us, and are willing to listen to us two crazy people just rant about Disney.
Absolutely.
Every single week.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Well,
this has
been WD Carousel of Podcast. Yeah. I'm Ian.
And I'm Crystal.
And I'm going to do it.
You're going to do it.
I'm going to do it. I hope you have a great, big, beautiful tomorrow. Bye, everybody.
Bye, everyone.